It's training camp season. Today we're looking at the 49ers. We're getting a good look at Ricky Pearsall. We're going to watch him work through some drills, catch some balls, everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at training camp every single day. We're looking at your players, your rookies, guys you're fighting for positions on your depth chart right now. Also, those guys you're getting ready to draft in fantasy football here soon. You want to see if they're looking good? You want to see if they're going to get that opportunity? It's going to start here first. Click that button. Stop missing out on what your players are doing behind the scenes. We're looking at Ricky Pearsall today. And he just came back at practice a few days ago, dealing with an injury. Juwan Jennings has been dealing with a calf. Sounds like that's not too serious per coaching staff. But per coaching staff, Christian McCaffrey wasn't that serious as what was supposed to happen last year. So we're paying attention to that. But here he is. Here he is. Boom. There he goes. And remember, he got shot last year. So he had a weird rookie season. I don't think it gets as weird as it gets from that. Like, that was a weird rookie season, but he also flashed talent on the field. So whenever a rookie flashes on the field, and you're just going to have to take it contextually. If it happens, it happens. And it happened with Ricky Pearsall. After getting shot. Look at it that way. But there he is. He's healthy. He's looking good. I know a lot of people were fading him due to the injury news. And I was waiting for clips like this to really discuss that. Typically, early training camp, everything else, it's more up in the air. So I just stay Bayesian. Just stay waiting, watching. I don't really act like the sky's falling with really anybody. And I just see what happens. And he's back. He's looking good. He's looking smooth. He's going to be on the field. That's what we're looking at here. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be getting opportunities. Now, from my wide receiver rankings, which is going to be updated this week as I'm working through all the material and all the assets for the video, I think he's at a great spot in drafts where if you're looking for an upside play, you're looking for a younger wide receiver that's ambiguous, but you don't want to break the bank on. Because T-Mac, Travis Hunter, they're a little bit more expensive than he is. And if you're looking for a younger guy that hasn't really blossomed to that full effect yet, this might be it for you. It's very ambiguous here with the 49ers. You're looking at the wide receivers. Is Jennings getting signed? It looks like it. I'm a little bit early right now, but I'm seeing some things. And this video might come out after that. It looks like it. And then on top of that, you're looking at what's going on with Brandon Ayuk and his health. You're looking at all that stuff. Purdy's been solid. Pearsall drafted in the first round. And I'm just going back to the analysis we had scouting him. And I liked him. What I liked about him is during his collegiate career, it's early in the morning, sorry. During his collegiate career, he just got better throughout the whole thing. At Arizona State, he was starting to pop off. Transferred to Florida. Low volume passing offense. And there was a moment that last year at Florida, if you're scrolling Twitter while you're watching college football to keep up with the other games, you're doing whatever possible. Like most Saturdays, it was hard to ignore the fact that Pearsall was making big plays. I just remember just being on the couch. I think I was watching a Ohio State game. And while just searching for more information on college football while I was watching the game, there was a catch he made. And imagine I came back to watch that game. That's why it's so vivid in my mind. But him just stretched out over top, almost sideways in the air, just making this catch. Like one of the biggest catches of the week. And he would have one of those just about every game where he would have that highlight reel moment. What I like about his game and him on the field, he's very assertive. Like he fits the mold of what this team scouts at wide receiver. And I use Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel for that mold. Now you get it. Those guys aren't comparable when you look at archetypes. But for one thing, both of them are very aggressive when the ball's in the air. Like they attack it. And they attack it after the catch. He's like that. He attacks it when he breaks off the route. He attacks the ball while it's in the air. And he's aggressive at all phases. That's what you get out of Ricky Pearsall. I think that's is what caused them to split hairs with the other wide receivers. That's what they used to split hairs with, like Keon Coleman, with Xavier Legette, the other wide receivers that were on the board. That's what they used. I imagine that's it. On top of that, like what I said earlier, like he was coming along at Arizona State. He had a weird career in college, but he got better throughout his career. He works hard. He's also like nuanced, creates separation. His style fits the NFL game. I think he's going to be good for the Niners overall. They spent that draft capital on him. Now, if you're looking for top-end fantasy production here, you have to see how the offense unfolds because you got Christian McCaffrey back. He runs a lot of routes. He's going to soak up target share. And you got Kittle. Those two together with Jennings, he's going to have some blow-up weeks. He had it last year. He had some moments where he got a lot of targets. And then Ayuk eventually back. But in offenses where the running back and the tight end soaks up targets, is really hard for multiple wide receivers to be consistent. However, another way you can spin that is this is a young wide receiver drafted in the first round. Collegiate profile-wise, I liked him better before the first-round pick. But after the first-round pick, I liked him better because everyone faded him, and I was able to buy him at a much reduced cost where a first-round wide receiver should go. That's the thing about that, where the late stage breakout, whatever, due to him getting shot or whatever, where it doesn't affect me in fantasy. It was so cheap, where the hit rate's like 5 to 10%, and now we're looking at a first-round wide receiver there. Like, crazy. I get it. He was in college football a little bit longer and all this, all that. But eventually, like, you're looking at first-round wide receivers over third and fourth round wide receivers, and you're like, yeah, that's the price you want to take. And the market faded him hard. We were in prior to that, and we were expecting the market to be up on him just a little bit, but we were looking at him at a little higher price than what the market gave him in Dynasty Fantasy Football. That's the thing about that. So where we got him at in a lot of these leagues, there was no risk, really. You're getting first-round wide receivers with no risk. That's fine. But you're looking at him, he's twitched up, good to go. I was expecting him to surprise people in the second round of the NFL draft. One of these teams pick him up, and now people got to think a little harder about him. But the Niners swooped in, got him in the back end of the first. They made that choice. They picked the guy that fit their offense. And I can see why they made that choice. They made that choice because he's aggressive, he's assertive, he works hard, he's developing, he's getting better. They made that choice because this is a wide receiver that fits the mold of their team, their identity with how they play on the field. That's why they made that choice. You look at the second round wide receivers, the third round wide receivers, that's who you're competing him against. And he still hasn't had the opportunity to really prove himself. He started to flash last year. That's after missing some games after being shot. We've had some injuries off and on as well. Little ones. It's not against him. But you put that in, he's flashed still with all that. You got to pay attention to him. If you're looking for an ambiguous wide receiver that you can catch at a good price tag, that's down there a bit, that could surprise us. And if you're looking for that surprise lottery ticket, Pearsall could be it for you. Because at wide receiver, there aren't many lottery ticket wide receivers to cash in at. There's just not, because this year's rookie class wasn't really deep. That's the thing about that. It's not a deep wide receiver class. Last year's wide receiver class was hella deep. And we could still be getting some of those second-year wide receivers from last year's class, like a Pearsall, start coming along. Maybe like an A.D. Mitchell, somebody like that. Really depends on how that offense flows there in Indianapolis. But there's a lot of talent there from last year's class of wide receiver. Some other guys, if you want to throw out some names, Pat Bryant's very cheap. He's been killing it in camp. I look for him to come along maybe a little bit later this season, maybe flash a little bit, come along a little bit more in 2026, but he's going to flash at least a little bit this year. He might come along, but that's a lottery ticket. This is another lottery ticket with a lot of upside. You got the first-round draft capital. You got proven that he's been getting better throughout his collegiate career. He was productive with 2 different collegiate programs, technically. He's good after the catch. He fits the mold of this team. This wide receiver depth chart's very ambiguous to where he can carve out more of a role this season. He's down there in the ranks where you can take that shot, where by the time you get to him, you should be good at wide receiver, and you can really make those big-time plays. There's enough running backs before and after him where he's not killing you from preventing you from getting those lottery ticket running backs, because there's plenty of them. There's so many that maybe you just go with one of your favorite lottery ticket wide receivers somewhere down the line and still keep getting your lottery ticket running backs. There's a lot of different strategies in this year's draft due to how deep the running back position is, due to how different the wide receiver position is this year, due to not having as many depth pieces from this year wide receiver class, from this year's NFL draft class. And then on top of that, you still got guys from last year's class just hanging around in those cheaper rounds, waiting to break out as good lottery tickets. You got good depth here. But for the San Francisco 49ers, he's going to be good for them. He's going to be solid. He's looking good. He's healthy. He's on the field. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.